Are Field Trebuchets rocking it in Tides of Torment? Well, at least you're not being killed by a Screaming Skull, right? Let's look at a more orthodox, traditional, physics-heavy method, because the Trebuchet, despite its sins, is the one to cast the first stone. Recruited for 650 gold and 163 upkeep, this gets you 4 Trebuchets on Ultra with 4,512 health spaced between them. Armor is 15, leadership 40, speed 20, melee attack 10, as in 1 better than 9. I'll skip the rest and get to the ranged, aside from mass 2,000 each. Ammunition is the ancient standard of 22 volleys. Range 440 is impressively distant. Direct impact damage is base 40 and armor piercing 145 damage, so any poor infantryman taking a direct hit won't leave much behind. Moreover, each impact has a detonation radius of 4 meters, and within that, 50 base and 70 armor-piercing explosion damage. 1 rock per trebuchet per volley, reload time is a dismal 20 seconds default, total accuracy the standard 20, calibration distance 340 means it doesn't shed extra accuracy much until impressively far. Calibration area 90 meters means it is not a pinpoint weapon by nature, though it becomes a bit more so as ranks are gained. Penetration size is large, and the max targets penetrated after the first is 10, so this can just sail through a whole bunch of fell bats given the opportunity. This comes as a siege attacker, of course, and cannot run, and is considered a peasant unit, but seriously it's not going to last when damaged. Now, let's look at the Blessed Field Trebuchet. You'll get it very quickly. Recruited for 850 gold and 213 upkeep, what's changed is all in the ranged. That's good, the melee is awful. Ammunition creeps up to 25 base, same range 440, nominal damage 208, is magical attack with every stone. Direct impacts, base 70 and armor piercing 270, a substantial increase. Detonation radius increased to 6 meters, base explosive damage increased to 60, but armor piercing explosive damage plunged to 16 only. Reload time remains 20 seconds, no other changes are evident, except the one at the top of the unit card saying no friendly fire. In other words, you can cast these stones all day long and not harm your own knight units. Isn't that amazing? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, we're supposed to care about peasant casualties too? If you insist, alright. There is also the advantage of not slaughtering your own peasants while inflicting catastrophic damage to blue horrors they are fighting in melee. You know if that actually matters to you. Your call. In the redline skills, 3 pips of Engines of War devoted to these 2 units only. Grants ammunition plus 20% and missile strength plus 8%, nothing wrong here. Guided by the Lady grants rank 7 once and up, and being your only artillery pieces, they should be racking up the kills to get there. Range plus 10%, missile strength plus 12%, and reload time reduction 10%. The combination of range with the rest makes these siege engines hit that much harder and faster at even longer ranges, though they don't gain accuracy, that's from veterancy only. In the tech tree, endgame tech Siege Engineering grants plus 5 leadership when in any siege battle, and regardless of the battle, missile strength plus 10% and reload time reduction plus 15% for Field Trebuchets. That's a big spike in DPS. 20 seconds to 15 before veterancy reduction is absolutely impactful, and so are the rocks. So how do we use the Field Trebuchet? Notwithstanding that the Blessed One has a use the other one can't possibly share, the fact you trade area effect armor piercing for direct damage is interesting. The direct damage means they can shred towers and walls that much faster. Can they hit the broadside of a Hell Pit Abomination? Difficult, at least in theory. So for a lot of open field battles, the base unit is your better bet against high-tier infantry like Blackguard of Naggarond, and you absolutely should be trying to pelt such units. You can go after enemy artillery, but you're not necessarily going to get much done. You can go after enemy missile infantry, and over time that should work out for you, especially since once the lines are joined, only the Blessed Ones will be useful in the mosh pit, or your own center will crack even sooner. But by far the best use is to whittle down infantry in general to make the rest of your battle go more smoothly. This is a supporting arm of battle, it's simple, it's reliable, and it's just as vulnerable to enemy attack as any other kind generally is. Keep that in mind when your knights are off hitting the enemy's backline. Trebuchets are not cheap, and losing them can hurt, so you do want to avoid them. Also, this damage profile is actually pretty impressive against enemy armored cavalry should you be able to hit any, so that is something that's nice when it does happen. Take care and have fun making the enemy city feel like a glass house.